Well, that's a little dark, isn't it? Let's try that again. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome back to the lab. It has been a while. And good morning, Feel. I feel like that combination of emotes just gets better and better. I love it. I don't know why. Good morning, Shito. Thank you so much for stopping by. How you doing, mate? Oh, trying to wake myself up a little bit. We've had over there. haven't been getting up as early as I usually do, which has kind of been nice. Oh, no worries, Shito. No worries. It's been a very unsteady schedule for me. I've been kind of bouncing back and forth on a couple of streams. Plus, what was it? I missed last week. I can't remember if I actually streamed. I don't think I did any streams prior to that. And then apparently I forgot to record one of the things that I've done. So that's probably going to be the first thing that we go over. Also, ye olde Stream Deck is currently not commissioned, so we gotta do some manual clicking today. So let's see here. Let me get the code screen up. Well, not technically code screen. This is technically a diff screen, but allow me just a moment. I need to mute and pour my coffee. Oh, congrats, Shito. That's awesome. Second daughter. Now we have to ask, which one's the favorite? You know, after a 2-week-old newborn, surely there's a favorite going on right now, right? That's awesome, dude. Congratulations. Oh, the first one for sure. It's like, no, absolutely. There are no favorites. Give me just a sec. Let me mute and pour the coffee. I swear, every time I go to do that, it gets weirder and weirder. This is courtesy of the new coffee machine. I actually now have a full carafe that I make in the morning. Was that I think that's a full liter, or a liter and a half, something like that. And oh my goodness, the amount of time that it saved is fantastic, but more importantly, I think the number of times that it has saved me from I'm about to go into a meeting and I think that my coffee cup is empty and I panic because I can't like run downstairs before the meeting to fill up the coffee, and it's like, oh wait, but there's this thing. Oh, that's incredible. Oh, we got some photos. Oh, she's adorable. Oh my god. So small. So small. Oh my god. Ah, that's so cute. Breaking the first minutes? Hell no, this ain't breaking the first minutes. That's incredible. Oh, she's so tiny. Oh, that's awesome, dude. Congrats. That is so cool. No. I say that's worth the first couple of minutes. Alrighty. Let's get some coffee. Seeing this camera and seeing the camera or the view that I get whenever I jump into a Zoom call, very different. Makes me recognize like just how much touching up Zoom does for their video feeds. Woof. Let's turn that up just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. All right. So, where last we left off. I feel like I'm about to start a D&D game, but that up just a little bit. Put that right there. As you can tell, I have not been streaming for quite some time. So, where last we left off. So I was attempting to throw in effectively automatic reconnect logic, which let's see, do I still have the image? I do still have the image. So in a nutshell, I left the bot running for a little while after some stream. I actually don't remember when this was. And there's no, well, 2:13. Well, that's been a minute. Holy shit. Let's see here. But yes, so I was attempting, I left the bot on. I come back and I see this just spam of pings that have been happening over a broken pipe. And it made me realize connection's not very durable. So we need to fix that. Yes, indeed. I know. Good morning, Ninten. How you doing, mate? Thanks so much for stopping by. Welcome back to the lab. I did that in the wrong order, but brain is kerfuffed. Ooh, that is very hot. No. So yes, that was an attempt, or that was one of the attempts of how do I make this, smart? How do we make the connection, the WebSocket connection, a little bit smarter?
So, how are you holding up?
Aww.
Because I'm a potato.
Thank you so much, Ninten. Thank you so much for the 5 months. Holy shit. It's still wild to me that it's been like, this is dawn of the 5th month. How many remain? But thank you so much, dude. I appreciate that. Waiting for Medj the mod to make his comeback. Oh man, that is becoming harder and harder and harder to do. The more that's getting piled on at work, which I mean is what I was asking for, all things considered. So, but yeah, I miss you guys. It's been a hot minute since I've been able to stop into stream and stay for longer than 2 minutes. My drive-by, hi-bye. Drive-by, hi-bye. Yep, there we go. So, in an attempt to, make this a little more resilient, I started messing with the WebSocket connection itself, in thinking about like what can we do? What can we do for this? So in fact, let me just get into Vim. QVim? Nah, Vim. WebSocket. Also, somebody gave me I don't remember. Oh dear. I don't remember what the what it was, but somebody gave me some type of configuration to change on Mac. I don't remember what it is, but this is the fastest that I think I've ever scrolled through Vim in my life. And it's great. Anyway, big brain time. Yes. Big brain. Because we know I do not have a big brain. I have a big brain. Wait, no, that's suspect. Ugh. Oh no. And the internet starts furiously typing. So what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? We do this. All right. So here's the fun part, which I am now realizing that I do not have. I do not have the bot running, cd megbot, and I don't remember if I actually got this working or not. So let's find out, shall we? Go run. Explosion! All right, because there's a syntax here. ws.auto-reconnect is not a function or not a thing. Huh? Let's take a look see. So what I was planning on doing, before I forget that. Also, there's a doggo. Look at how cute that doggo is. Yo. This is how you make announcements. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. 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 That is a feature. That is a feature. We'll read that later. So what I was going to do was I was going to do this a little bit. This here persistent metric store. And I would like to do that today. But I was reminded as I started this thing up that oh yeah, I was trying to make the WebSockets a little more resilient. Look, it doesn't take much to please the developer brain that is a Medj. Anyway, I'm such a child. I love it. So, in an attempt to do that, what I started to do was, number one, in order to do retries, we're going to have to save the connection information. And so what I did was I moved con URL, which is the URL that we're actually connecting to, into the struct itself. And yes, feel you did. This is the most riveting entertainment that I know everybody resubs for, right? I even sipped to the rhythm of me making that doggo jump up and down. My God. So we grab that URL, we stuff that into the struct now, which will be this right here. We still don't connect immediately. We just store this information for later. Let's see here. We also have a couple of this is how you be a good citizen on the internet when it comes to retrying services, especially when you are retrying connecting to somebody else's service. Add a max number of retries, add an exponential backoff, or at least add a backoff so that you're not hitting that same retry logic within the span of milliseconds. Although most of the big functions, well, most of the big companies, they have a way kind of at the web application firewall to prevent such things. It takes a couple of minutes of well, actually, we'll say it takes about 10 minutes because testing. 10 minutes to add an exponential backoff. Isn't there a context for retries in Go? So there is a context object. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't fully understand it yet. But yes, there's a Go context. Should be this, which carries deadlines, cancellation signals, yada, yada, yada. I've seen this mostly used for timeouts. So if you have a function that is, or a Go routine or etc. that's running in the background, there's a cancel function that you can give it. So you create a context instance, you pass that in, and then you have a cancel function that will signal cancellation. You've got deadline, and then you've got a timeout, which is very interesting. Now I don't remember if they have. I don't remember if timeout does or context does reach. Oh my goodness! I have become an old crone. Please help. Ba-ba-da-ba. I don't think there's a more complex one for retries. HTTP might have retries. The challenge is that we're technically using a custom type for WebSocket. Yeah, this is all manual. Yep, all manual. Interesting. I thought there was one too. Very interesting. I mean, a retry function is technically just that. I think I actually did something similar to that, but we'll get there. Post reconnect function we'll talk about in a second. Yeah, we'll get there. Oh, catch up on this. So biophysics, the Physics Student Council had some theories about the mental age of physicists is about 3.5 years, while the mental age of a mathematician is around 2.5 years. Huh. I would go more around the 2-year age, personally. I mean, like, have you seen the Firefox Nightly logo? I have that pulled up. I don't, but yeah, just take a look at the Firefox Nightly logo. Bar none, it's fantastic. All right, let's see here. Yeah, post reconnect function we'll talk about here in a second. Set max retries, which I think is because I don't allow setting. Yep, I don't allow setting max retries in the constructor because I'm doing that as an opt-in. The reconnect logic, I'm deciding whether or not I want that to be automatic or not, but I don't remember why I didn't. So yeah. Connect is still the same thing, except now it's just try to connect. If there's an error, return an error. Otherwise, set the con, return nil. So this was one of the key bits about reconnecting because it allows us to do this. So now that connect is not expecting inputs. Hello, Toby. Yoink. So now that connect is not expecting inputs because we already have our connection URL stored. Now, when it comes to reconnect, I can do that in a more programmatic way. Hello, buddy. What? Buddy would like to say hi to you. You're such a chill cat. It's my boy. Yeah, he's your boy. He's a good boy. Let's see here. Where's Zelda? Zelda. Where's Zelda, Toby? Did you beat her up again? She might be downstairs. I just got a pair of beanbag chairs as a replacement for the fact that I am being a big baby and not buying furniture for downstairs. But I recognize that every once in a while I do have guests over, so I kind of need somewhere for them to sit. So I got 2 of the 5-foot like beanbag chairs. Zelda is obsessed with those beanbag chairs. Like, oh man. Zelda and Tilly both are actually very obsessed with those chairs. Kind of nice. At least somebody uses them. She's off to save Hyrule. Damn right. That awkward moment though, whenever you realize that, because Zelda is feisty, like she'll fight you, so she's probably off fighting somebody. Right, buddy? She fights you all the time. I can never tell who wins her though. Let's see here. Can I show the post reconnect function? Yes. So post reconnect. So this, in a nutshell, this is kind of what I got to. Reconnect is all well and good, but there's a minor problem with reconnecting the WebSocket, and that is the whole, most of these WebSockets have an authentication flow. Like, for example, IRC. Whenever I start IRC, we fire off authentication commands, we fire off join commands, we fire off capability requests, yada, yada, yada. Like, all those things have to happen after the WebSocket gets reconnected. And I don't have that stored anywhere. Thanks so much for the lurk, Fuel. I appreciate you. And of course, the bot is not responding to lurks right now because the bot ain't running. Because I broke it. Whoops. Let's see here. But no worries, Fuel. Thank you so much. Enjoy your time with the lab bots. So it kind of brought up this idea of, oh, there is stuff that needs to happen after the WebSocket is reconnected. So it's a func. A ye olde func. A function. And the assumption is that for the post reconnect function, more or less all of them kind of follow the same pattern. They have no arguments, but they may return an error. And I think the theory for post reconnect func here. Oh no, I just fail out immediately. Right. Oh, please excuse. Toby, you're making me tired. And I think the theory here was that connect is where I would do the retry. Or perhaps that was somewhere where I would do the retry. Oh, yeah. Max retries was greater than 0. Yes. No, never mind. Okay. So I'm technically not being particularly smart about that. Okay. The thought was that a post reconnect func would be a fatal failure because I have no real way of knowing from the perspective of the WebSocket. I have no real perspective of knowing whether or not that logic is retriable or not. Really, it's the block of connect and post reconnect, kind of almost like a transactional unit or an atomic unit. If one fails, it's considered both of them have failed. And that's apparently what I ended up trying to do here. And then I started to update things like the read function. So we attempt to do that. If error is nil, then just return the message. Otherwise, we have a... Hello, Tilly. Otherwise, we have a reconnect moment, a reconnect spot. So attempt the reconnect. If that failed, wrap the reconnection failure, or wrap the original error with the reconnection error, and then fail out. Got Toby and Tilly down below me. So that takes us to, I think it was main.go. So apparently I had not actually moved this over yet. So pub sub, that's okay. Where's IRC? Here's IRC. Doop. Bring that over there. Now here, I believe the assumption was that IRC ws dot set post reconnect func would be IRC dot start. But the problem... Am I still doing that? Really, they. Yeah, I'm still doing that. IRC dot, change that to IRC client dot. Thank you. Now the problem is that this currently expects a config. Yep. But this was the idea. Inside of main, I would have this, I would basically assign the reconnect or the post reconnect. I would assign the post reconnect func as part of IRCWS and go from there. Let's see here. I can wrap it. That is true. That is absolutely true. So you could do func error return IRC client.start IRC config. Very, 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 very true. Let's see here. Make sure I didn't goof that. I think. Now the question. Yep. Boop. Yeah, clean that up just a little bit. There. Nice. I'm having the same problem, Shito. There is a case to be made, I think. And in fact, there is a case to be made. Maybe config just belongs in the client. Right? Because I don't think I ever had the concept of one client, multiple channels. And I don't think I intended to. I think new client, or really just IRC client in general, was meant to be bound to one channel, one user it was acting as. I don't know if it's necessarily better. So the thought that was in my head was, if you move config into the constructor, you assign it as part of the struct, you have that available inside of IRC. But originally I was going to do that when thinking about reconnectivity for IRC. But now that I've kind of got it down in the WebSocket abstraction itself, it was a back and forth as to whether or not I actually needed it. But if we did move config out of start and into the client, then we wouldn't have to wrap the function. It would just be set post reconnect function IRC client.start. Something to think about. IRC client. Let's see here. So that was the general idea. I kind of just want to see if this works or not, because that would be lovely. And I think the rest was pretty much the same. Oh. Ta-da. Yay. It's such a dull response to when it now that the bot is actually back. Now the challenge though is that we would I'm trying to think of how we would actually simulate a failure. I would have to like put a proxy in between them. I'm not entirely sure how I would do that. So you also implemented Logros? I did. Yes. There's actually a this simple centralized logging and introduce Logros ticket. We technically did introduce Logros. I just haven't moved everything over to the new logging package, which just for context is right now Loggerlog. I'm strongly considering just distributing Logros around. But there were a couple of things. There were a couple of things like this that came up where it's like, well, I do kind of want to standardize on some of these, on how some of these logs happen. So whereas Trace and Info and Warn and all of them are technically just proxies down to Logros, Error and Fatal, I'm technically decorating the message with an expected error. So there's a little bit of standardization that's going on there. So I decided, what the hell, I'll add a logger package and slowly move over the code. Which, as you can see, we kind of sort of started to do. Excuse me. All right. So what? True. This was the other thing. So we brought PubSub back because PubSub. Bloody PubSub, I swear. Although this time we've only really chosen to use PubSub for channel point redemptions. Just because I just didn't want to go down that path of converting everything again. So PubSub, let's see here, WebSocket Connect, PubSub is a new client, PubSub WS, and then PubSub WS dot set post reconnect function PubSub dot start. So that's nice. And then we have PubSub. PubSub was an interesting process. Put it that way. But I think it was really Frank that it was really Frank that brought in this idea of use this little library, JSON parser. JSON parser allows me to do really handy things that made a lot of the it made a lot of this so much easier. Let's see here. Let me find an example. Here we go. So like I just wanted the type. I wanted to know what the type was. Instead of creating an object to do that, just get type from the string. Run from there. There were different. I'm sorry. I'm apparently very tired. There were different places where some of this data was showing up depending on what the message was, which was messing with me. Same thing for like extracting specific JSON messages. I want data.topic. There you go. Message JSON. I very vaguely remember that this was a pain in my ass. Oh no, that wasn't a pain in my ass. Because this wasn't a pain in my ass. Yeah, because this was the whole like stringified JSON thing. And they basically just took JSON and then they stringified it and then they put it into the message field as a string. Why not just let message be an object? That would just make so much sense, but no. Well, no. But in a nutshell, JSON parser made a lot of that much easier. It was really nice. And so now we have PubSub. And we have PubSub specifically for channel point redemptions. Makes me so happy. All right. Let's come back here. PubSub now has its post reconnect func. That all seems to be going good. Let me just do a double check. Looking good. Sweet. All right. Now let me go back to WebSocket. Let me double check to make sure that we haven't missed anything. We are not doing retries at the moment for write. Okay. So we basically need to follow kind of the same pattern for WS write. Now, I feel like we don't need this anymore. Now that we have reconnect, we can kind of catch ourselves from that. So I don't think we need that. Now, this is where things get interesting. So first, we do this. If error equal to nil. So for the success case, we exit early. Okay. Otherwise, we hit an error. We attempt to reconnect. Now, I think that there is a... Yeah, so at the moment, we are also just reconnecting. We're not actually trying again. And I think this is where I got stuck in trying to think of, okay, well, do I just duplicate this code? Which doesn't feel good. Or do I recursively call it? In which case, in the case of a reconnect, we would do this, and then we would do ws.read, assuming that it's successful. Or, actually, no. Sorry, this was yeah, this was what got me. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Yeah. So I split these. I forgot about this. This is confusing. I keep hitting the microphone. My apologies. Hold on one sec. Excuse me. Right. So my ear is doing that thing again. It does this every time I start streaming. It's confusing the hell out of me. I would love to know what causes it. Yes. Okay. So I'm remembering this now. So what I did, we have our quote unquote exported read function. So we wrapped the logic of reading a message into this piece. And then I think this was where we did some more logic. Oh. Time for some sleep. Have fun with the stream. See you around, mate. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Hopefully I will actually have, some time at some point. But thank you for stopping by, mate. Have a good one. Cheers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have, we are in the middle of a carryover. This does not look as nice as as I remember it being. Woof. All right, so let's see what we had. So this is a perfect example of you write code, you bugger off for a little while, you come back and you go, who the hell wrote this? Oh wait, I did. All right, what was past Medj brain thinking? So message equals ws.read. If error equals nil, return the message. On an error, retry. If max retries is greater than 0. For basic for loop for the retries, make sure that we wait. Try the read again. Error equals no return. Otherwise, retry number failed. Absolute failure, return the error. Okay. So in this, I feel like I was doing double duty, and I couldn't remember why I wanted to go one direction versus the other. Yeah, I don't remember. I think I really just needed to do this here. Which realistically begs the question of, well, if that's all that this is doing, then what's the point of having another function wrap a function? You just do that. And then you don't have extra vertfunc calls. I feel like there was a reason that I split the two, though. For the life of me, I don't remember what the reason was, though. Yep, nope, got nothing. I got nothing. Oh, no, I remember. I remember now. So I had this thought in my head of differentiating between the whole like opt out versus opt in approach when it came to when it came to the retry logic. Maybe you don't want to retry. Honestly, in my case, like if you don't want to retry, max retries defaults to 0. So that will basically end the loop. It'll cut the loop short before it even happens. So yeah, I don't think that we really need On a read error, if max retries is greater than 0, it will attempt to reconnect the WebSocket. On max retries, the error will be returned. There we go. Now, this is the part that we hadn't implemented. On my right message, WS.reconnect. So then we just try again. Otherwise, we return 0 error. Oops. Something like that. It's not the prettiest. Not to mention there's duplication of the logic. But a little bit of copy paste is better than a terrible abstraction, so I'm sticking to it. The most important feature of all is still working. Cthulhu has risen. Now we just got to get Sorcery to draw a Cthulhu, whatever that persona is, and then get that turned into ASCII art. Just saying. The great formless one. All right, so let's double check. So we've got new WebSocket. Max retries is 0 by default. Retry duration of 50 milliseconds, but 50 milliseconds times the loop iterations. So if max retries was 5, it would be 50 milliseconds, 100 milliseconds, 150 milliseconds, 200 milliseconds. It's technically not exponential, it's linear, but even linear is better in this case. You're 22% there for commissioning Sorcery with channel points? Damn. I actually don't remember how many points I have on Sorcery's channel. It's been a hot minute. I think I had something like 130 or 140k, maybe. Or was it 150k? I don't remember. Let's see here. So Connect actually Connect actually connects the underlying WS connection. I feel like I might have been slightly drunk when I wrote that. Either that or tired brain just kind of just stared at it like. Let me see if I can. Yeah, that was my brain just a moment ago. Let's see here. So we got reconnect. We got read. So read the message. On air, max retries greater than 0. Try reconnect. Oh no. Oh, now I see. Lowercase read was handling the reconnection. Uppercase read was handling the retry. Right? Huh. So we got to think about this. Automated retry is interesting in this regard. So on a read error, I think in this case, it's pretty much just a connection failure. So max retry is greater than 0. So what we can do is we wait and then we reconnect. If error does not equal to nil, then we return byte errors.wrap. And then here it's so actually here we don't want this to be error, we want this to be con error. So let me think about this. Because what we're going to have to do is we want to wait for the current retry duration, then try a reconnect. If the reconnect fails, then actually what we want to do is we want to continue. Because down here is our absolute failure. Call it recon error. And I think for the purposes of this, it would technically be the same thing. Same log, at least. So we attempt to reconnect. If that succeeds, then we try to read a message. Or do we? And I think this is where my brain kind of got a little fuzzled. I think attempting to read the message makes sense. But this is what was kind of catching me. Reconnect, reread. If that works, then return the message. The problem is that by reconnecting, so what I'm kind of thinking about is that technically speaking, this is not necessarily going to save us from, say, let's say that this message was going to come in, but for whatever reason the connection voided. Actually, no, never mind. This is not really an issue, because that would be on the server to enforce that, and we can't assume that from Twitch. What I was thinking was, is it technically erroneous to try and read the message again? Because at that point, you've basically got a failure. And I think the answer is no, because by getting a message back, you're restoring the read loop. So yeah, I think it makes sense to reconnect, retry, otherwise absolute failure. Because otherwise we won't have any way to well, we won't do anything here. So I think this makes sense. It's a bit gnarly, not gonna lie, but most reconnect code is. So what about write? Does write need the same thing? Write needs the same. No, write has reconnect. So we want pretty much the same logic as far as I am aware. I'm trying to think of cases where we wouldn't want to retry this. Okay, so if retries is greater than 0, max retries, you're asleep, reconnect. Oh. Right, but I'm not failing this this out. I'm actually doing this. So we'll keep that consistent. And with consistency, I might see a case for abstraction. Just haven't done so yet. Nice. That does look abstractable, just for the record. Yeah, that does look abstractable. I'm just not doing so yet, because I kind of want to see it work before I make it abstract. But okay. I know this is probably not the most riveting of features. Reconnects are kind of gnarly. So, just as a kind of a recap. So, number one, the whole reason for doing this reconnect is so that we don't end up with a giant stream of errors like we had before. Ideally, what would happen is instead of a giant stream, we have up to n number of attempts, however many attempts that may be. You may see a couple of errors, but then eventually you'll see a fatal error. On that fatal error will start a cascade. That cascade will eventually either trigger that the bot needs to be restarted or maybe trigger some downstream logic. But the whole goal was to be a little more resilient to the possibility of disconnection, which is technically something that we have kind of been ignoring for a little while. The Twitch docs even say, like on IRC, there may be a reconnect case if the server's going down for maintenance or etc. And on PubSub, it explicitly says if you get a reconnect message, then you need to reconnect the client. So we've kind of been ignoring that. So with this, now the WebSocket itself is a little more resilient. So every time that we read, if that fails for some reason, then we'll automatically try reconnecting and retrying. In theory, that should give us a resume on a stream, although it won't necessarily, like, I may miss a chat message, for example. I don't really know if there's a way to combat that, but at least it'll keep the code running, which is ideal, versus it just spiraling out on this broken socket. And then same thing for write. Write was a little more interesting because there was an element of, do I want write to try that many times? But I think for now it does make sense to keep it in the same pattern. So write will do the exact same thing. It will try to write the message. If it fails, it will attempt the retry. If the retry fails, then it'll return the error. And I am purposefully going to leave the mutex locked during that time, because if this thread is failing, well, any thread would technically be failing, is the theory. So keeping that mutex locked makes sense to me. Let's see here. Close that out, push that over there. Okay. And unfortunately, the only way to actually test this is if we, killed the connection somehow. And I don't think I have Wireshark installed, so... Well, actually, Wireshark I don't think would interrupt the connection. I don't think. But anyway. Cool. So let's see here. Let's get this. Gcommit, add reconnect logic to WS WebSocket. Cool. All right. Get status, get push origin current branch. I hate that ZSH keeps doing that. I really need to figure out why it does that too. Maybe one day. Oh, sorry. GPOCB, by the way, means get push origin current branch. It's an alias that a coworker actually inspired me on. Whoa. How old is WS Reconnect? Oh, it's very old. Yo. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so apparently WS Reconnect was like way behind. Let's see here, 2 branches. This is 16 commits ahead of main. Yeah, no, that's... Yeah, that's not right. Now it's 15 commits ahead of main. Chad, I think this branch is broken. I think we done broke the branch. Oh dear. Yeah, because like all of that code exists. Doesn't it? Hang on a minute. Oh. Something has happened. Code has been lost. Either code has been lost or I have not been pushing code to main, which would surprise me. Huh. Okay, well. I mean, what do we call this? Big Chungus? What? What? Not stash, no. Huh. It's like I haven't pushed to main in God knows how long. Alert handler. Bits handler test. Channel point handler. Oh. Yeah, I guess I just didn't push all of these changes. Oh dear. All right. So this is absolutely not what you're supposed to do. Just for the record. Huh. Oh my. All right. So, Big Chungus. There's a lot of stuff in here. WebSocket reconnect logic added. Or sorry, add. You describe it as the things that are being proposed to be changed. So remove vault and Redis usage. GitHub action for running tests. Which, the mention that I made before of this is absolutely not what you should do. You absolutely should, at this stage, break this PR up into many smaller PRs, especially if you're working on teams. Because doing one giant chungus of a PR like this is not a great idea. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, so add pub/sub client back for channel point redemptions. We've got I think. Oh, and then introduce Logrus for logging. Woof. I could have sworn that I pushed all that stuff up sooner. Anyway, Which, by the way, we have a GitHub action now. I don't remember when I did that. It's probably not too long after we introduced GitHub Actions at work. Because we had Circle CI for a little while, and everybody was like, why aren't we just using GitHub Actions? It's like, yeah, that's a fair point. Let's see what Actions look like. Actions looks amazing. All right. Oh yeah, this is that is something that I thought I fixed. Okay. Coverage. Kind of shit, but apparently it does, Shuto. I kept hearing about the Circle CI bill in comparison to GitHub Actions, which, to be fair, like some of the things that we were doing in Circle CI was a little interesting and a little sketch, and oh my god, it's the evil PR. Or technically it's the good PR because we are getting rid of the Mark of the Beast. I'm not religious, I can't make that statement. But yeah, that it was kind of that big push of, number one, why are we running additional infrastructure for it? But number two, GitHub Actions is just so much easier to optimize in comparison. And it also allowed us to really, it made us aware of how many jobs we were running. Like running a job on every commit, bad idea. So a couple of those things became very, very apparent very quickly. So we fixed that. All right, I think I'm gonna call this MVP 3 catch up, formerly known as Big Chungus, which will forever be in the in the history of this. Exactly. It's like at that point, it's like, well, why don't we just run these in? Why don't we just run these in our own EKS cluster, in our own dev cluster, and then just fire off webhooks? Whoops. All right. That's a lot. I'm just gonna copy pasta this. And for anybody that knows up to this point, yes, I do spend the time to make these squash and merge messages sane, because there are tools that can generate a change log off of commits like this. And that would be your change log versus the hundreds of commit messages that made up that log. And I like change logs. I like automated change logs. Minor problem that now everything says MVP3 catch up. Minor problem, I think. Nice. All right. Checking, good on time. .config.go. WS has all the things we just added. Yeah. Looks good to me. I do believe. All right. Now, did I have that tracked anywhere? Nope. Add auto, reconnect, and retry logic for WebSocket connections. Boop. So let's mark that as, are we in MVP2 or MVP3? We're in MVP3 now. Doop. Ta-da. And no matter how many times I try, this bloody step is just killing me. I think the only thing that we're going to be able to automate from the perspective of OAuth is what? I think by virtue of it not being machine to machine allowed, we have to do a manual step to get the access token and the refresh token. But as long as we start the bot with the access token and the refresh token, then technically the automate step would be just refreshing that token. I don't know how often that will work, though. That would assume that the bot is always running, and right now it is not always running. So this is kind of it's becoming a bit of a lower priority for me than some of these other features, like the persistent metric store. Which, speaking of, all right, so git checkout main, git pull. Oh, there it is. Main had never been pushed. Oh, there was the problem. Oh, that's why it. Oh, man. I'm dumb. Y'all, I'm dumb. Hello, Algol. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. You just missed me being dumb. Oh, well. WS reconnect. Nope. Git merge. Abort. Git checkout. Git branch dash D main. Git checkout main. Git pull. Make sure everything's up to date. Now we're good. Git branch. What do we have? Metric store on WS reconnect. Git branch dash D. WS reconnect. And we're back to normal. Oh my goodness. That's why. That's why it wasn't working, is because I had never pushed. Oof. Just mess up my hair because that's just what I do. Oh no! Spilled coffee! Ah! It's a great morning. But thank you so much for stopping by, Algol. How you doing, mate? Been a little while. It's just a VCS. There's no need to push. Exactly. History? Pfft. Centralized access of your changes? What year is this? Ugh. No, that's absolutely me being dumb. Is it 2020? Is it 2020? Is it 2021? Is it 2035? Who the hell knows? Oh, Zelda. Come here, Zelda. People are looking for you. Zelda's just off to the side, just staring at me. Come here, Fluff. Oh my god, look how fat you are. The stream would like to see how fat you've become. Oh, look at how sleepy you are. Hi. Hi. Here's a Zelda. This is Zelda. She's a tiny girl. Well, she was a tiny girl. Now she's a fat girl. Can you say hi to everybody? I think she's trying to eat the microphone. And now she's trying to pull the microphone down. She is displeased with my microphone's feng shui. Ow! Hey. Well, yeah. So this is Zelda. She's a bitey one. She's a bitey one, but she's sweet. That's the weird thing. Good girl. Good girl. Look at that. Look at that. You punctured me. Yes, hello, and welcome to Medge Labs, where we occasionally do science, but mostly just cats. Yeah. Yeah. Now she's happy. Reason I'm not streaming, otherwise you can see how fat I am after a year with Corona. Oh, gotcha. You almost fell down, fatty. I had that moment much earlier. Space Duck Toaster. Oh, hold on. We're getting attacked by cats, so bear with me. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. What's the breed of the kitty? I'm not sure, honestly. Definitely domestic short hair. She has just about every attribute of a domestic short hair. And oh. It kind of looks like she has a little bit of tabby in her. I can't tell though. But she was a neighborhood abandoned. Her mama actually abandoned her when she was like 3 weeks old, I think. And I took her in, I fed her, and as you know, when you do that, she became mine. So, whoops. All right, cat hour. That actually reminds me, I was going to. Let me bring this up for just a moment. As I was going to remove cat cam as a channel point redemption. Twitch, stop autoplaying. That's rude. I was going to remove cat cam as a channel point redemption because at this point, I mean, if you guys want cat cam, all I have to do is call. So, let's go to viewer rewards, channel points, manage channel points, and let's turn off cat cam so you guys don't. There we go. Doop. Sure. Okay. Do like that. So that you guys don't spend your points on it, because honestly, cat cam is just kind of part of the stream at this point. So we'll do like that. Do like that. Although I will probably bring it back at some point whenever we want to automate it. So if we wanted to do like an automated like you redeem cat cam and it automatically swaps to cat cam, maybe that'll be a thing. I don't really have stationary pets, so it's a little bit harder for me to do, but can make it happen. Let's see here. I don't know what that is, so we will come back to that later. Cool. All right. So now that we've got that out of the way, persistent metric store. So this is something that's come up a couple of times now, because it kind of forms the backbone of a number of these features. So this will be like the last subs and last bit tracking. Technically the alert box. Technically. Let's see here. Some things for things like, or a place to store things like counting emote usage. The last person to redeem a particular channel point redemption. Oh, that's what I needed to add. Track last usage of a channel point reward. That was an idea that that I got from Spooky. Save that. I'm gonna bring that down because I don't think that this is gonna happen anytime soon. And even things like on-stream polls. So being able to poll out to people, I'm gonna need somewhere for that data to go. And normally, so I've had a couple of conversations about this in between, and a couple of people have actually asked, why don't you just implement a database, or why don't you just introduce a database? Short answer is because I don't want to introduce a damn database. Blah. But realistically, a database could make sense for some of these things. I just haven't gotten to that point yet. So I love how pretty much every project under the sun, like every project, the first thing that they do, they create a web application, they create a web API layer, and they put a database behind it. And then they start storing data inside of the database in the normalized form because database modeling and all this fun. And every time they do that, I just kind of look at it and go, but why? Like your function, your microservice, if you will, doesn't even need persistence. Like you're storing things, but then you're deleting them after a certain amount of time. Why aren't you just storing that in Redis? Well, we need persistence. You have persistence. It's called Redis persistence. Rant over. Anyway, so metric store. Metric store is a branch. Now the question is, oh, right. So we had actually used this, if I remember correctly, we had used this as a starting point for the server. Yes. So we had this. And I think this is what was powering, well, what used to be a label, but what is currently not a label, in the last sub-label. Right. Right. Okay. So I knew that was going to happen. Yes, yes. So what do we have here? Oh, Jesus. So this is what happens when... Hello, Toby. This is what happens whenever... Would you like to say hello to everybody? All right. There you go. We got a Toby cam going. Let's see here. What happened to Logger? Ah. Right. Go to mod, logger.log. That's fine. Go.sum. Good. Go.sum. Main.go. Vim ma. There we go. Which, by the way, if you have no idea what's going on right now, this is what it looks like to fix a rebase. Or to fix rebase conflicts, I should say. Good. Well, that's what it looks like in Go, at least. In Go? In Vim. There we go. Get rebase. Continue. You kind of end up in this, in a little bit of this loop. If you do a rebase, which whether you should do a rebase or not, that's a whole discussion. Toby, that is the exact place where my mouse has to go. And by the way, yes, this is like day in, day out. He jumps up, he licks my wrist, and then he just ever so slightly chomp. You're like a baby that's teething, but you're 11. Sweet boy. All right, go to mod. You know, let's just do this. Get rebase abort. Get merge main. Now we have conflicts that we'll have to solve. Go to mod. Yes, yes, I know. Vim main.go. Like that, I think. Right. Server, not S. Yeah, there we go. All right. Now, I have no idea what that is. Oh, let's see here. Hello, buddy. Are you quite cozy? You look very mad. Write-only unsafe WebSocket. Sure did. All right. So what I think I should do in this case is that we still need that, or we don't need that because we have that. This does make it really hard to code, by the way. I should have done that before I did the commit, but I can always amend. Okay, so that looks okay. Buddy. I need this now. Thank you. All right. Yes, hello, buddy. Oh my goodness. Don't know if anybody can hear him, but he's just a purring away. What happened to the Moonlander? Decided that the Moonlander wasn't really ultimately what I wanted to use. I'm much more comfortable on a on something like this, like a Prionic, so something ortholinear and small. And also, I lost something like 20 words a minute in typing speed, I think it was, when I swapped over to the Moonlander. It was pretty bad. And that's probably just me not being comfortable with the split. but man, was it slowing me down, and I didn't like it. So I decided to swap back to the Preonic. You're so loud, Dobie. Origin metric store. So now let me double check this just to make sure we didn't goof that up too bad. Huh? Hey chat, we were already caught up. How have I managed to forget that much? That's pretty bad. That's actually really bad. Oh my goodness. All right. Going beyond the board, a whole new Trello is here. Right. Okay. Right. So we have metric store, but we don't have a persistent metric store. That was the problem. All right, so let's come into metric store. So right now, when it comes to a metric store, we have our interface, and we also have an in-memory metric store. Right. So the in-memory metric store was there, but what we didn't have was the equivalent of what we do for the ledger. Which is this. Now, at one point we had gone down the path of trying to decide whether or not the ledger was going to make sense for the metric store. I can't remember. I think we said no, because the ledger is assuming just appending and checking. It's not actually updating anything. So it doesn't have like a, what's the phrase I'm looking for? I guess technically I could. Basically, I don't have a... Oh, wait. No, I do. Damn it. Chat, I'm struggling. I am struggling today. It's like I don't even know my own code anymore. Which happens quite a bit. We need like an architecture MD. Like anybody seen one of those before? An architecture.md file just describes at a high level the architecture of the application. Talks about things like, hey, so anything that is bot feature specific is inside of the bot package. The bot operates on this construct. The ledger is an in-memory append only store that has the option to be persisted to a file system. Yada yada yada. Like basically just marking all of that kind of high level concept knowledge and putting it into a singular document. Some people say that should go into the README. I think the README is more for how to use the thing, and then the architecture MD is how to contribute to the thing. But sounds like we need an architecture MD for the bot. Can you guys hear him? Hey, buddy. Oh. And he goes immediately to grooming as soon as I put the microphone near him. It's like, oh, let me make annoying noises. Hello, buddy. Are you quite cozy? Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. So now it's making me question. Could we just use... Well, let's look at the what we had for viewer metric store. So viewer metric store was basically just storing things like sub amount, if I remember correctly. Let me go to the server. I know I'm bouncing around a little bit. I'm mostly trying to remember what was what. Yeah, here we go. Yep, okay. So we were doing this as key value, key last sub, value, an object of the name of the last subscriber and the number of months that they had been subscribed for. And that paradigm does work, I think, for pretty much everything. So let me think. Last sub, last bits, all make sense. Emote usage actually would be potentially the same thing. Although emote usage would be multiples. So maybe it would be like fetch emote usage dot emote name. Then technically in that case, name would be redundant, but amount would be the number of times that emote had been used. Channel point redemption, same thing. So this pattern does work. It works quite well, which is good because we kind of tailor-made the metric store for that purpose. The only thing that kind of sucks is that it's not persistable. We could potentially just wrap persistable. He has decided that this is where he is going to lay. Thank you, Toby. We could just wrap persistable. And for the record, yes, I am recognizing that that technically I'm reinventing the wheel here when it comes to say like, hey, what if you just wrote this as a database? Then you would just have a database, and then you would have SQL statements that interact with that database. Like, yes, but a database also has to be run now. Right, buddy? I guess we could potentially look at SQL, right? But I like not always thinking in terms of a database. Again, because I'm a salty old man. Lump. There's like no great way of getting him in the shot, so sorry. I thought I was gonna do persistent cat cam, but alas. Let's see here. Is there anything that we can do with this? I don't know that it's that far off from what we have with the metric store. Let's see. This also technically has the concept of key expiration, which at the moment we actually wouldn't want key expiration. So do we have... Yeah, okay. So where my mind's kind of churning right now is I think the ledger, the persistable ledger, or persistable, that could be used. Which at this point I really should just change it from being ledger, because it's not really a ledger anymore. From ledger to just persistable cache. And then if it's persistable cache, then the only thing that I would need to add in order for it to work for the metric store, allow for key expiration to be toggleable. So basically just allow me to turn key expiration on and off completely. And then I think we would also need to be able to support objects in a put. Which we could just make that a requirement of the consumer. So in the case of the metric store, for example, I would probably persist it as either JSON or maybe JSON-B, but JSON kind of makes sense from a usability perspective, Toby. Excuse me, buddy. Need to lock that. It makes sense from the perspective of a readability perspective for later, and so we could push that as a requirement, and then put continues to work. Let's see here. Can a cache be persistable? It can. So that's effectively what I've done with the persistable ledger, or the persistable cache. It's very basic, but I just took the concept of the cache being a map of string entry, which in this case is just key value. So map of key value, and then gave it an option of persistence. And if it's persistable, then we write that to a file, more or less. I was thinking about making this an IO reader and all this other fun, but I just didn't get to it. But yes, so when the persistable ledger is created, you're actually interacting with the in-memory cache. So it's basically like what Redis does, more or less. And so you interact with the cache, and then there's a write process that sends it out to wherever it is that it's going. Which I was actually supposed to make this a Go routine. I just haven't done that yet. Okay, buddy, I'm gonna put you down. Thank you for your visit. So it is technically persistable to the perspective of a file. And yes, before anybody asks, this is exactly what Redis does. Just for the record, the only reason that I removed Redis and favored this instead is that it made the bot more self-contained. So I think SQLite might give me the same possibility, but we'll kind of see. And any plans to migrate from the deprecated IOUtil package to the new function within OS and IO? Yes. I just haven't gotten there yet. But actually, thank you for reminding me. So we need migrate away from IOUtil. I know we definitely were going to migrate away from IOUtil, because now it's just io.readall, right? I just saw that blog post. I think we need... And then for OS, were you talking about the what was it called? OS.FS? Was that the interface they introduced? I just need to bring this up. Go 1.16. Deprecation of IOUtil. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. IOFS. Extraction for read-only trees of files. Aha. We probably won't migrate from that, if I had to guess. But I also am recognizing that there's more to this than I anticipated, and I need to read this more. Interesting. But definitely migration away from IOUtil. So we'll do things like, let's see here. Read all, I think we're currently using. So we'll definitely want to do that. In fact, how many usages of IOUtil do we have? It's just in persistable. Holy shit. Okay. That's a very small change, which is fantastic. I think I also still need to upgrade. Yeah, I still need to upgrade to go 1.16. So I'll probably do that. Shall we just do that now? So I think since I am almost out of time, I've got about 20 minutes or so, I definitely need to rethink persistable, rethink the persistent ledger. I think, number one, this has already become generic enough to where persistable ledger could really just become persistable cache, which is really all it is. And at some point, we could absolutely back the persistable ledger and just make it Redis. Like, this is literally just Redis, but this allows me to have an embedded version inside of the bot versus having to run a Redis server somewhere. But yes, I recognize very, very, very strongly that this is basically just Redis. Yeah. But until we get to that point, I think there's probably going to be a little bit of work that I can do on this part that will more or less simplify, number one, simplify some of the verbiage. Number two, I may look into the get and put semantics to see if they are basically to see if they are generic enough for what I think I would need for the metric store. And then lastly, I would need to update the expired concept, which would basically allow me to toggle whether or not I actually want key expiration or not. And that should be a relatively straightforward process, because I built this this expired function purposefully to encapsulate that logic. So we'll see how that goes. Deagle TG, thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. How are you doing, mate? With that GlitchCon 2020 badge, I love it. All right, but as kind of the last piece, shall we upgrade Go? Are you an IT professional? I think I'm classified as an IT professional. I am a professional software dev, if that's the question. Let's see here. I do be one of those developers in the wild. Let's see here. Developer, DevOps. What is my title anymore? I don't know. Oh, I'm a lead now, so. Yeah. I try to be. Yes, I try to be professional, although realistically, I am a human. Let's see here. Brew, upgrade, Go. Let's see if Go 1.16 is finally on brew. It's not. Okay. I'm going to finish your undergrad in 6 months. That's awesome. So, any ideas on what you want to do? Where you want to go? What kind of development you want to do? What type of IT you want to do? Anything of that? Certifications, that depends. IT in general, very broad field. Are you a developer, DevOps, anything in particular that you're very interested in? Just in these moments, I'm uninstalling Brew and replacing it with Mac ports. I think what I actually did was oh wait, Brew search Go. That's right. I removed Go from Brew because Brew wasn't updated fast enough. And there was something about this that I wasn't pleased with, but I couldn't remember what. You have no clue? What did you study? That may help me a little bit. Short answer is, do I believe in certifications? No, but certifications can help for specific types of roles. But I'm personally not really a fan of spending money on or time on certifications unless you get them for free. Like if you get to take them for free, then absolutely take advantage of that. But personally, just because somebody had a certification didn't really inspire me to hire them or not. It was actually more just their personal capability. I can't count the number of people that I've interviewed that had, say, the AWS Solutions Architect certification, and they could barely tell me how to architect a web app. It's like, you have the certification, but that didn't really seem to help you any. So, personal opinion. Warning. That is not necessarily representative of the industry as a whole. But with Mac ports, I can't find Go root, don't know where it's installed. That's a good question. I don't know that I ever had any issues with Go root. I don't even have Go root on Brew. Let's see here. Let's just do a Brew install Go. See what happens. I think what I did was because I was on Go 1.14 and I was wanting to upgrade to 1.15, and for whatever reason there was a delay in the homebrew formula. So I said, screw it. I uninstalled it from Brew and I installed it from the main piece. Main piece? Yes. Okay. Go version, if I can type. Okay, so we're still on 1.15. Yes. Go path equals home code go. Go path bin. Yeah. That doesn't really do it for me. Which go? User local bin go. But in the Brew world, that is user local seller go. Now, why didn't it symlink? This is the thing that always confused me about Brew. Some of the formulas are symlinked, some of them aren't. And it confuses the crap out of me whenever it's not. Brew prefix go is user local opt go. Ah. Twitch buffering too much. Yeah, it's been having trouble lately, and I don't know why. Folly keeps pushing me to get certified, have an edge over others. Few exceptions to what all my project thing is. I chose the topic, made the project, so I'm bound to like it. Don't know what's preferred in the industry at the moment. I mean, I can offer opinions, and this also depends. Are you in the United States, or are you in are you outside of the U.S.? Because I'm American, so I can only really speak to what I see kind of in America. Plus minus a couple of things that I've seen in Australia and the UK, but yeah, I'm not as plugged in. Outside, okay. Okay. It's really hard to say, to be honest. So where my brain's kind of thinking there, and I'll come back to the go bit here in just a second. All the good work is outside here. It depends. It genuinely depends. So you've got development, web development, backend development, server development, distributed development, data development, all this blah blah blah. Writing code. That's what I do. But I'm technically an architect or a lead, one of those titles. So it's a combination of I write code, I build systems, and I also am kind of responsible for making decisions on the infrastructure side. So technically speaking, I'm a blend of software developer, DevOps, architect. That's kind of my role shoved into one. So that's kind of what I do, and that's what I have context on. Development doesn't require certificates. Like, you don't require certification. You don't need certifications to show that you're a good software developer, at least here. And I context that with a lot of the hiring that I did. I've seen too many people that had a certificate but were shite at their job. So certificates don't really mean anything to me anymore. It just means that you paid to get a piece of paper, right? DevOps, on the other hand, it's almost required to get a certification, some type of certification in at least the cloud that you're going to be working in. AWS, GCP, Azure, etc. So like AWS, the AWS Solutions Architect Associate is considered the standard. I don't actually remember if I have that certification or not. I think I do. But I did because my last job paid for me to do it, because they wanted all of their DevOps people to have that certification. So again, it kind of depends on what you want to do. Like, do you want to write code? Do you want to do DevOps infrastructure? Do you want to do more network engineering? I think the answer is it depends, depending on which direction you want to go in. If you're going for software development, my answer is usually no. My answer for software developers is more do side projects, build up your GitHub repository, build up that portfolio of code that you've written, because code that you've actually written versus a piece of paper that says that you wrote code, I trust the code that you've written way more. Plus, I can quiz you more on that. Yeah. So let's see here. But ultimately as well, and I think this is a little more pervasive across disciplines, I still think that showing things that you've actually done is still way more valuable than a certificate. That's just my opinion. So like, for example, yoink. If you could show, say, a blog post of you putting together a home lab, and that was kind of what you were going for, a DevOps engineer role, then putting one of these together, writing a blog about it, and then showing the different software that you've installed on it is way more valuable to me than saying that you took a class from Coursera. The two technically, potentially could mean the same thing, but this shows me that you actually did something, which is huge. So same thing with software development. Write code. How do you want to show that you can write code? Write code. DevOps. How do you want to show that you can do DevOps? Do DevOps. Exactly. Practical is greater than theory. Theory helps. I'm sure that there are still a lot of people that put value on theory. I just don't really value that as much anymore because some of the best people that I've worked with didn't get a degree. So, how do you decide what you want to do without doing it in the first place? You do it in the first place, honestly. If it's something you're passionate about, if you're just doing it for a paycheck, then in that case, probably doesn't matter. The answer still is kind of it depends. Software devs make a lot of money. DevOps engineers make a lot of money right now. So there's kind of that balance. But yeah, personal opinion, I think the only way to really answer that question is to try it. Writing code, do you enjoy writing code? If the answer is yes, then that's probably an easy question. DevOps, have you messed with Terraform? Have you messed with like building infrastructure either in a cloud environment or in something like in a Docker environment? If that's not particularly interesting to you, maybe not. But yeah. By the way, just as a side note, you are more than welcome to join the Discord channel. Discord links in the about section for the channel, and you're more than welcome to ask these types of questions. So like if you're wondering, hey, what does it mean to be a DevOps engineer, or hey, what does it mean to what does it look like in the real world to do software dev, to do network engineering, yada yada. Feel free to drop in and ask those questions. More than happy to answer them. That is literally what the Discord is there for. Are you searching for backend devs in your company fully remote? That's a good question. Maybe. Why, you got something for me, Shito? I could certainly ask. The only requirement, though, is that we are U.S. East Coast, and all of our ceremonies, if you will. Like, for example, stand-up would be happening in about 3 minutes. So that would be the question. Would that be a schedule that you would be comfortable doing? And there's also some legal implications of external US things and yada yada, but if that all worked out, I'd give you a recommendation in a heartbeat. Just saying. Join the server? Awesome. But yeah, you are, like I said, you are more than welcome. You can post it in the channel itself. You can reach out to me directly if you'd like. So again, I'm a lead engineer. I've kind of jumped back and forth between developer and DevOps. Now I kind of do a blend of all, because that lead architect role kind of forces me across all. I say forces, but I enjoy being across all. But yeah, so I've kind of been in a number of different places. I haven't been everywhere, but at a bare minimum, I'd be more than happy to field the questions, and if I don't have the answer, we can find you the answer. But always happy to help somebody that's just about to get into the industry, because We need more. All right, so let's bump this to 1.16 and let's go to where was this? Resistible? IO util? Nope, we just need IO. This becomes io.readall. And this is, of course, mad at me because I don't have comments on these, but yeah, we'll get to that at some point. But there we go. Go 1.16. Now I just actually have to get my CLI connected back up to Brew. I don't remember why I changed it. Can also tell that I've been in Python for too long. Hey, there we go. I have no clue what the roles for any of these posts are in the real workforce. Well, here's the fun part. My role is technically lead, like technical lead. That means different things depending on where you go. It's fun. It's very fun. But at a bare minimum, at least there's consistency, at least in the pattern. There's some consistencies between what's expected of a developer role, what's expected of a lead role, what's expected of a DevOps role, yada, yada, yada. So, ooh, is that a keyboard song? That's a keyboard song. All right, we're going to send this stream off with a keyboard song. Double checking if everybody can hear it. That coming through? It's such a tiny little keyboard. Now I did this before, but I don't remember how I did it. Nah, I don't have that one. Oh, actually, hold on, we're learning something. There's duplicates. Oh, that is a key. Ah. And a Toby. And this is what we spend our money on. Oh, hello, Toby. 10 keyless keyboard, and I thought that was small. Oh, Deagle. Hang on. So, this is my Prionic. I love this thing. And it's really nice. It's ortholinear, so it's straight up and down keys, but it's really nice for me because it doesn't make my wrist move quite as much. But one of the primary reasons that I have this keyboard is because of the number row at the top. So a dedicated number row, kind of handy whenever you're doing things like one-time passwords and all that fun. Where are you? However, for a little while, I was using my trusty plank, which Toby is very fond of. So, yeah. This is my travel keyboard for, And the only reason that it's my travel keyboard is because it fits in a stethoscope case. Like, there's my keyboard. It's great. Japanese on the keyboard. Can you speak and type in Japanese as well? I am learning. I'm actually getting, I'm doing a kind of a self-study / mentorship right now with a very good friend of mine. She's actually helping me with a lot of the caveats and the gotchas on it. But yeah, so I am slowly getting some proficiency, but haven't quite gotten there yet. Let's see here. But yeah, having the hiragana on the keyboard, every once in a while I'll just kind of stop and I'll go, okay. Ha, ki, shi, ka, I, ma, and I'll just kind of like do it as a random copy. But saw this movie once with a foldable, rollable keyboard. Turns out the keys feel extremely terrible. That kind of reminds me of, I don't remember when this was. I think it was like early 2000s. They came out with a laser projection keyboard where it was literally just like a tower and it projected a laser keyboard onto the desk and you typed on the desk. Interesting in theory, terrible in practice. Absolutely terrible in practice. So that, and actually, where is the Moonlander? I did have a split keyboard for a little while, the ZSA Moonlander. That one. And yes, that one was interesting. I actually really liked the idea, but just I type so slow on a split keyboard apparently. That, and I just like the compactness of the normally when I'm sitting like this anyway. And as little as my hands have to move on a Prionic, it's great. That's kind of why I got the plank in the first place, was so that my hands just don't move. It's just my fingers that are moving. It's great. Everything is great. Kamikaze! Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. How are you doing, lovely? Let's see here. Would you like to say hi, Toby? This is Toby. Say hi. Sweet boy. Sweet boy is sweet. Yes. Yes. Yeah. My little thingamadoo. What are you tired for? You're always tired. All right. So we didn't quite get to the Persistible metric store in the same capacity that I wanted to get to, which is okay. I mean, we got WebSocket retries, which is great. We got all those branches cleared away, which is great. And we even got a little Go 1.16 upgrade, which is great. It's all great, Toby. So let's see here. Next time. So what I'm probably gonna do, I'm gonna try to get a stream in. Well, let me see here. Let me double check this. I wanted to get a stream in sometime one morning this week. Maybe Tuesday. Maybe. Yeah, maybe Tuesday, maybe Monday, not sure. But I was thinking about doing a morning stream, and haven't quite gotten to that, like committing to a particular day. But I was thinking about, in addition to the Saturday stream, the Saturday morning stream here, I was thinking about adding back a morning stream either on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and just seeing how that works, because a week in between working on the bot is very painful. So I kind of wanted to add something around about midweek, just to kind of keep things going a little bit. But okay, I've been sick the last couple of days. Oh no! I hope you're feeling okay, because a sick Cammy is not great. We need Cammy to be in full health so that she can share the wholesomeness all around. For those of you that don't know, Cammy is one of the amazing viewers in Sorcery Stream that always brings such care and wholesomeness into the stream, and so we appreciate having her. I'll thank you, Viol. Sorcery, our lovely mod, she is a fantastic streamer. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, if I remember correctly, and Thursdays are now art streams, which is fan-freaking-tastic. And I'm sad that I miss all of them nowadays. It's been a hot minute since I've been in a sorcery stream longer than like 30 seconds. It makes me very sad. But Toby, you look well cozy, buddy. He's just like chilling next to my keyboard. But I don't know what we're doing right now. We're just hanging. We're just chilling. I am kind of curious though. So at this point, the bot is pretty well set in terms of the basic functionality. We were going across we were going back and forth on on-screen functionality. So this would be showing labels on screen for last bits, last sub, all that fun. I still want to add those in. I still want to replace Streamlabs' alert box, which is a little more feature heavy than I think I'm ready for. Just in terms of like doing the animation side of things, that'll be interesting. But yeah. But I think on stream or on screen functionality is what I keep coming back to. But is there any feature that anybody thinks that we should focus on? Is there any feature that anybody would love to see in the bot? How often do I clean my keyboard? Probably once a week, give or take. Which, I mean, let me see if I can show this proper. Nope, probably not. Where's my thingamadoo? Ah, there it is. It's like, where's my key puller? The real nice thing about the Prionic is that it's hot swap. So those switches actually come out. So probably once a month, I'll take all the keycaps off, take all the switches off, you know, take the board out, blow it out, that kind of thing. But once a week or so, I have an air compressor in the closet, and I'll just go in and do a quick spray off that way. Because I mean, I have cats, and obviously this one is the biggest contributor of hair and such that gets into the keyboard, little boy. But excuse me. Do I have a 3D printer? Yes, I do. I have two. Yoink. There they are. So I have the Prusa Mark IIs, and then that's that's the Mark III, and then that's the Prusa Mini. Yoink. And then the laser cutter behind me. I tinker way more than I probably should, but it's like all the little side projects and things that that I don't really spend a whole lot of time on, but it's nice to be able to just disconnect every once in a while and just make something, like make some terrain or make some minis for D&D, that kind of stuff. Yeah, fun times. This is my workshop, by the way. This one bedroom that I've turned into a workshop. So you really have a lab? Yeah. This is like my little basic lab. Let's see here. Just a basic room, just something that I didn't like. It was supposed to be a bedroom, but I didn't really I didn't really do a whole lot to it. And then I was going back and forth on it. I was like, well, this room is actually perfectly sized, and it would have been really easy to add, oh Jesus, a bunch of these and get the echo down. So that's what I did. And it's worked out quite nicely. At least it's not for wood or stone working. Yeah, about that. Earlier in my life, this was like 10 or so years ago, I think, I tried to get into woodworking. Nope. Between the splinters, the sawdust, and just the overall annoyance with the amount of tooling, I say that having, like, over on the table, there's a bunch of leatherworking equipment, but that's for when I just have those days of I just want to sit and just toil on something. I don't really want to think. I just want to do. That's when the leatherworking stuff comes in. Can I help you, buddy? He's pawing my arm as if he's saying he wants something. Would you like to say something to the stream? And knock over my water. That would be a tragedy and a half. Actually, let's move that over here. He wants pets. He gets pets all damn day. Well, that's okay, because he deserves it. Right, buddy? Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Here, we'll get a little bit of a cat cam going, although that's a little bit of a suspect angle, but hey. Yeah, buddy. Ugh. Little buddy cat. Never enough pets? Exactly. Exactly. And Zelda's actually under here as well, but I don't think there's any good way of getting the camera under there, so yeah, might be SOL on that one. And she's asleep, so I try to wake her up. Woof. All right, everybody. Well, I think that's probably all the time that I have for today. Let's see here. Yeah, I think what I'll try to do is either Tuesday or Wednesday of this coming week. I'll post in the chat in the Discord if I think I'm going to be able to make it. Just should be able to. But I'll shoot for either Tuesday or Wednesday morning, same time slot. So it's start at like 7 a.m. It's 9:47 a.m. for me right now. So I wish I could commit to a day and just put that on the calendar, but alas. Let's shoot for Tuesday. How about that? Let's add an entry for Tuesday. And so we'll attempt to get a little bit further with the idea of the persistent ledger. That way, we can start to move more on some of these other features that actually need the ledger. Things like last sub, last bits, last usage of a channel point reward, etc., etc. We can actually start to make some headway on that. And then from there, I think I may have to pull out a little bit for the on-stream alert box. I might need some help with that one. So we'll get to that here soon. Let's get Twitch on. It's probably going to start auto playing, which is going to make me sad. Yeah, it tried to. Mute that. Schedule. Can we add? Oh, Lord. Here we go. So we're gonna add an entry. We're gonna shoot for Tuesday the 2nd. This is gonna be at 7 a.m. or we'll shoot for 12 or for 2 hours. We'll see what happens. Twitch bot in go. Science and tech, is that what it's called? Yeah, there we go. Okay, save. There we go. So I've added an event to the schedule on Twitch. So if you go into the about section, or if you go into the schedule section, there should now be a new entry for this coming Tuesday the 2nd, and it should be localized to your time. I keep forgetting that I don't do that. And also, I need to change this to 2 hours. 7 to 9, 7 to 9, and we'll look at making that a more consistent thing at some point, hopefully, because I would love to make it a more consistent thing. Before, it was a little difficult for me to commit to days during the week, but we'll see if we can make it happen. But I think that's going to do it for now. Thank you all so much for stopping by. It was great to see everybody. I hope that I'll be able to see all of the lovely cultists in Sorcery Stream at some point here soon. But if I don't, I'll see you around in Discord. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Stay curious. Toby would like to say bye. Yoink. And we'll see you next time. Aw, thank you, everybody. Take care. Say bye, Toby. Close enough.